All right.
All right, everybody, we live. We live. We good to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Roger that. Welcome to the Talk That Stuff podcast, featuring yours truly. It's the See Me Hustle all one word. We got my man RTO, Monica Donato in the house. Got my boy Ricks. Maybe a couple more to come. We're missing DJ Widebody. Not gonna be with us today, but he'll be back safe and sound next week. Today we're going to discuss. We got several topics for y'all, and we're gonna start this off with the sports. So how are we gonna start this?
I guess we started with the sports.
Y'all, everybody, we okay? Starting with the scores.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Roger that. We'll start with the NFL scores from this week. Earlier this week, we had on Thursday we had the 49ers and Seahawks. Was dominated by the 49ers pretty much. 21-13. Score looks a little deceptive. I think the Seahawks scored in the fourth quarter, make it look a little closer. That was the Thursday game. The Saturday game, we had, where are we at here on the Saturday games? Why am I so lost? Let me see. Saturday, here we go. We had Colts Vikings, which was a hell of a game. Colts was actually up 33-0 in that game. Vikings came all the way back to win it by a field goal in overtime, 39-36. They went on a 39-3 run, which is incredible for the Vikings there. The Ravens lost to the Browns 13-3 in a barn burner of a game, sarcastically speaking. And the last game on Saturday was the Dolphins-Bills, which was also a damn good game. Bills won that last second field goal, 32-29. Today, the early games, we had let's go over the finals. Had the Eagles over the Bears 25-20. The Falcons losing to the Saints 21-18. I think that was the last second field goal on that one. Lions beat the Jets. I think the Jets missed the field goal in the last second on that one. Some time issues apparently going on there. Steelers beat the Panthers 24-16. Another final OT here. The Jaguars over the Cowboys 40-34 in a game with an interception, pick six. And the Chiefs beat the Texans and also in OT 30-24. The Jaguars Cowboys game was 40-34. Games going on right now. We got the Cardinals Broncos. Broncos are up 24-15 in the fourth quarter. Actually, that game is the final. Just went final. Patriots up over the Raiders 24-17 in the fourth. Titans and Chargers in the fourth also, with the Chargers up 14-7. And Bengals and Bucks. Bengals actually came back from 17-3 down. They are now up 27-17. That game is also in the fourth. And we got the big game tonight between the Giants and Commanders. And the Monday night game this week is going to be the Rams and the Packers. They should have flexed that one out. I don't know who wants to watch that game. Anything else going on in sports? I know the World Cup winner today was Argentina won the World Cup. Yeah, I seen some videos of like fans in Argentina going pretty wild over that celebration.
Messi finally got him a World Cup.
Yeah. Any other big things in sports? I know that Vikings Colts game was one hell of a
banana.
Yeah.
Banana.
I'd actually turned that game off.
Yeah.
I actually turned it off at halftime. I was like, yeah, I don't want to see this. You know what I'm saying? I ain't no way they coming back in this one. I was dead certain they wasn't coming back. And then Coop started texting me. I'm like, what's going on in this game? Why is he texting? And all of a sudden, I'm like, yo, what happened? What the hell happened?
I just knew for sure he was going to join tonight so he could talk his stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I know, right? Yeah, he should.
Yeah.
He should have joined up.
I know. If one of y'all got his number, text him, tell him to join. We can listen to a little bit of his gloating. They deserve it though, because I tell you, that last right go round on the fourth quarter, yo, they just literally turned all the way up. It was like the last 5 minutes, then down to 2 minutes, and then they really just took that game to the whole next level. I have to salute them for that win.
Yeah.
I have to salute them for that.
Yeah, good deal for them.
Yeah. You know, it's go hard or go home season. You know, they teams that's had a poor ass record, they coming out the woodworks now.
I still think that the Vikings are. I know they're. What are they? 11-3.
Are the Vikings 11-3?
Yeah, 11-3. And but I think that they are a fluky.
Yeah.
Fluky. If there's such a thing exists, yeah, what a fluky 11-3 team that is. I don't see him. That magic ain't going. You can't win through stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? In the playoffs,
yeah.
That ain't gonna work. So
yeah.
I don't see them making a big run. But hey, what do you know? What do you think happened?
Is that RTO typing in the chat? That's bro. What happened to the Cowboys? So I'm no hater. I'm a football fan first. We showed up first half. We had control of the game. We came back after halftime, and of course, looking like a flag football team, doing what the Cowboys do, which is just stupid mistakes. Not connecting. It's like defense just shut down. They was allowing too many first down. It was a mess. Last 2 minutes of the game, yo. We really just like threw in the towel. I feel like we were just celebrating too early first half.
What was the score in the first half of that game? Was it I take it the Jaguars came back on you?
They came back on us. Like we looked great the first half.
Uh-huh.
We scored first. The momentum was up. We in Florida. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say weather was a factor. We showed up and then come back from halftime and just stupid mistakes. Like I said, the defense, it was almost like y'all was celebrating too soon. Y'all wasn't connecting. They had a whole lot of, I don't know how many first down conversions, they came back with, but they was just converting. It's almost like it was a whole different team that came back out on the field.
Yeah.
And just connected. And they ran all over us.
Wow.
And under 2 minutes, it was like 1 minute and 28 seconds. We get the ball. They shut us down on our running game.
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't even convert on first down to keep the ball. We could have won that game, even with making the stupid mistakes that we made. But we deserved to lose that game. We needed that game to clinch. And, it's just, this is why, a huge reason why people hate on the Cowboys, because we do dumb shit like this. Michael Strahan said, he said in the green room, he was like, just watch them. Don't celebrate too soon. Just watch the dumb shit that they're gonna do, and they prove us right every time. They prove us wrong every time. They want us to say we got a Super Bowl defense. Not like this. They look like a rookie defense the second half, if you ask me.
They needed that game to make it to make next week's game against the Eagles actually mean something. You know what I mean?
Right. Because you already know how the Eagles coming.
Yeah. But any chance to win the division was pretty much gone with this loss.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, y'all pretty much ain't gonna be in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Your record? What's your record? Yeah, I'm looking for the record.
Well, we 10-4 now.
Oh,
we needed that game to clinch though.
To clinch a playoff?
Mm-hmm.
Well, y'all will be in the playoffs. I mean, they got no chance because the Eagles only got one loss, so there's no chance. Yeah. No mathematical chance for y'all to take the division, but you still got a game next week. You know what I mean? You still, I don't know what the Eagles are going to do. Well, they still got to lock up the number 1 seed, so they still want to buy. So they're going to play hard next week.
Hey, Body, you should be enjoying your vacation. RTO, he trying to steal your spot. You see that? He can't. He can't steal your spot.
So he's talking about the Commanders and the Giants, which is the next game, which will be going on during this podcast, which I'll be watching intently. I expect the Commanders to come out and brutally thrash the fraudulent New York Giants and get them on out, put them out of their misery.
Get them out.
That is not a playoff team in the slightest bit. I've been saying that from the beginning of the season. They weren't, and they got lucky and tied us that first game. But yeah. Hopefully
I'm excited. I'm excited for the draft already. I'm excited to see what teams are going to do what
for the draft. You still got the playoffs, girl. You still
I know,
still got hopes.
But here's the. I like I said, I love football. It's my number one favorite sport of all time. And when I'm looking at college and I see what could potentially come into the NFL, I'm excited to see what's going to come.
Yeah,
I know defense wins games, so I'm excited to see who's going to beef up their defense, who's going to release some money and see what's what. Does the Jets have potential? Like I'm looking at like future teams, you know what I'm saying? And what they could bring to the table and bring to the game.
Yeah.
So you always got to prepare for the next season.
I was going to say, speaking of college football, we have, I want to say, is it next week? What's today's date? Is the 18th? Oh, no, we got time. We got time for that. We'll have another podcast before we can even start the playoff talk. There are some bowl games going on, but the playoffs start. I want to say, when do the playoffs start? January. It should be after New Year's, right? I want to say
it's within 2-3 weeks. Shit, we already a week away from Christmas.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So Saturday, December 31st. So yeah, the Michigan plays TCU and Georgia plays Ohio State. On them days, and then the next game will be the championship played on January 9th. So yeah, we got time to talk about that unless y'all got any thoughts on the playoff games.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So whoever in the panel, say hello to us. Drop your name so we can give you a shout out. I'm sorry, not in the panel, in the
chat.
Who's watching the chat? Say hello to us. Right now, Wide Body is on talking hella shit. He gonna say what happened to the Cowboys. Damn. Well said. The Commanders and the Giants tonight. Thank you. Salute to y'all for rocking. Laughing my ass off. Not gonna happen, and come get this L tonight. So you see,
he's talking obviously to Giants fans. He said, "Hey, Giants fans, it's not gonna happen tonight, and just go ahead, watch and get this L." So that's what he's referring to. If anybody's curious. Is there anything else sports related in the news that happened? I can't think, man. You had the World Cup today. We already spoke about that, which I don't know nothing about. Y'all, anybody care about soccer at all?
Not really. I mean, trying to get more knowledgeable on it, but as of right now, I don't know what the hell's going on.
If the U.S. had done anything, you know what I'm saying? Maybe would have been something to talk about. But yeah, U.S. was long gone. We was long gone with our garbage ass soccer team. I feel like, you know what somebody said? I was at my job. He was talking about, man, if LeBron James and all these dudes that play like other sports, you know what I mean, like the best football players, if they all concentrated on soccer, like we would be the best soccer team. You know what I'm saying? But coming up, kids ain't, kids here ain't not the U.S. born kids, maybe the foreign kids that come here, but not our kids. And anybody, you know what I mean, concentrate on soccer like that.
Of the sports out there. I mean, only on some, once you get to like junior high and high school, the ones who did play soccer growing up, like as little kids, that shit switched over.
Yeah.
Start playing like volleyball, baseball, or basketball, or whatever.
Yeah. So,
pardon me for interrupting. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Yeah. So with that said, we're going to wrap up sports and we're going to hand over to Ms. Donato over here to discuss our weekly topics.
Absolutely. Well, first and foremost, how was everybody's week? You had a good week?
Yeah.
Yeah, for the most part, yep.
That's what's up. Family is good. Kids good.
Yep. My car got hit by some dude and threatened to shoot my friend, and them two was going at it. So yeah, overall good week. Yeah, excellent.
Oh my goodness.
I get my car fixed. My beautiful, beautiful Lexus.
Oh
Lexus
wow.
what?
GS
Oh,
350.
Wow. I'm
He didn't
sorry to
really
hear
hit it.
that.
It was I was parked at a club, me and my boy, and he was the dude parked right next to us, right after we parked. I didn't even get out the car, and the dude, I guess, didn't like the parking spot, and he was going to cut out of there, and he cut so far, like into the front of my car. I just watched the whole thing happen. So I'm just sitting there beeping the horn, like, yo. And I'm looking right at him, and he looking at me like, what is he doing? And so he backed up, and then so they scuffed the left bumper and like pulled it. So it's coming off or whatever. So they're gonna have to. It's gonna be a big deal to replace all that. So
Right. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm
all
glad you weren't hurt. Yeah, I'm glad you and your friend weren't hurt. Those things can be replaced.
Yeah.
But life can't.
crazy,
So
crazy.
yeah, I'm glad that nothing came out of that.
Yeah, he was an idiot.
Left like a motherfucker.
For real. But I'm real big on family, and when I'm watching the news and I hear things go on, it definitely concerns me when I hear stuff like that, because it's around the holidays, and when things happen around the holidays, death and sickness and traumatic situations, it just touches me in more ways than one, as you guys know. But more importantly, the weather has been crazy, so I hope nobody's families were affected by the tornadoes that was happening down the south. Alabama, I think Mississippi, Alabama, parts of Texas, Louisiana, all experienced some heavy weather. They had tornadoes. There were a few people that lost their lives. So I always put in the chat, I hope everybody's family is okay. If I am watching a weather channel and I see that they have heavy storms or any type of natural disasters going on. I believe Arizona had thunder showers. So I was like, wow, I've never even heard of a thunder shower, but I know with global warming, we're hearing more and more shit that we probably, weren't used to hearing. So
yeah, this is around the time where Arizona,
they
get the rainstorms. Yeah, they get the thunderstorms and all that. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is
okay.
They get hailstorms. They get all crazy type of stuff. It's always November, December when Arizona is 100 degrees from March until October, November. You know what I mean? So,
and that's crazy because I never even knew. I thought in my mind, because I'm not there. I thought that they didn't get much rain. I saw that it snowed over there. Never.
It can snow in northern Arizona where they're up at elevation. So you're talking Flagstaff, which is at like 7,000 feet, I think. Elevation. Okay. So yeah, they get all 4 seasons. But down in Phoenix, ain't no snow happening in Phoenix.
Okay.
So that was probably Flagstaff that he was talking about because they got mountains.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah. Speaking of which, if you look at my background there, this is over by the Hoover Dam, which is actually on the border of Nevada and Arizona. So
okay.
Up in the mountains. That's what that looks like, kind of.
Flew over the Hoover Dam going, I don't know whether I was going to Cali or Vegas. Yeah, probably Cali. And the pilot tipped the plane so that we can get some good pictures. So I do have some amazing pictures.
Oh, dope. Yeah, it might have been Vegas because it's 30 minutes from Vegas. So yeah, it might have been Vegas you were flying to.
I didn't even realize it was that huge.
Yeah.
Didn't, but glad y'all are doing okay. Glad your families are doing okay. But definitely let's get into these, topics. One very specific and hot topic that carried us through the whole week was the sudden death of Stephen Twitch Boss, who was Ellen DeGeneres's DJ on her show for a few seasons. He was on Dancing with the Stars. He played in a few movies, Magic Mike, I think, Double XL, as well as Step Up. And I can't remember which Step Up, but he suddenly took his life on Monday. And heartbroken, to say the least. Suicide alone, it puts me in a different place. But I wanted to know, did you guys hear about it, read about it, see it on the news? Did it touch you?
A little bit about it.
Yeah.
And did you have a natural reaction to it, Rix?
I'm kind of desensitized to shit like that, I guess, because you hear it so often.
Okay.
So I don't react too much. You know, it is a sad thing for sure.
Yeah.
Anybody taking their life, but I
Would
don't
you?
know. It's just
Would
and
anybody
and
characterize that as selfish? Taking your own life?
that is a selfish move, I would believe. Because you got to think of your loved ones that's around you, and you taking your life like that. That can affect them in many different ways.
Yeah. And that's the part you're not thinking about how it affects the other, you know what I mean, all the people that knew you. If this guy was a famous guy apparently that you know what I mean that everybody knew of, then
Mm-hmm.
like he's obviously not taking into account all the people you're hurting doing that. And you know what I mean, obviously you don't delete yourself
Mm-hmm.
if you're not in some form of pain, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
But if it's not like a terminal disease or something like that, like no, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. I don't know. I don't understand.
I'm
But
a, I'm a, I don't understand. I don't understand suicide. I don't even like to associate death with life, but we have to. But
mhm.
what I will tell you is I remember getting a call over the phone that my son had passed away. And the way they were trying to spin it, first of all, you telling me you didn't even find out if I was parked, driving, at home, sitting down, nothing. You just blurted out, you know what I'm saying, that my son was dead,
Mhm.
and then um, throughout the day, they kind of was spinning it as though my son committed suicide. And if you read any article about my son passing away, um, every article, damn near every article, spun it as if it was his fault. And just to think that you would put that in somebody's mind, if that wasn't the case, I can only imagine when it actually happens, what that reaction would be and what that emotion would be. Because
Mhm.
I know what emotion I had when they tried to spin it like that with me.
Yeah.
And the first thing in your mind, at least in mine, nah, not my kid. So I
Mhm.
can only imagine when his wife learned that her husband didn't come home. It wasn't like him to leave his car. She was calling him, couldn't get in touch with him. And she going to the police station to report her husband was missing. For them to later come back and said they found him at a local hotel, like minutes from your house. And then to learn that it was a self-inflicted gunshot wound. I literally went back into how she could potentially react to that. Like, what the fuck do you mean?
Yeah.
And then have to process that. And they have 3 children. I think even the oldest one is like, she's older, but I don't think she's grown. But
And then his friends, none of like nobody knew what he was going through. Didn't they say something like that?
Rex, so I was just reading an article that they basically said he left a note, but they didn't come out with the details and the specifics. But I read the latest one that was on Yahoo, Yahoo Entertainment, local news. And basically it said he left a note and it just said something from his past, resurfaced. And that's all they're saying at this time. They're saying that we had no indication that anything was out of the ordinary. This comes from his grandfather, Eddie Boss, who last spoke to him over the weekend. And his final text from his grandson said, "I love you, Dad." And that was it. So everybody is questioning like what happened. You know what I'm saying? Where did it even come from? And I honestly, this particular situation had to be one of the most talked about suicides that I've ever even in like heard people talking about, because if you go to his Instagram page, him and his wife, they post regularly them dancing together. You always see this man with a smile on his face. You never heard anything bad about this man on social media or on the news. Like everything was all love. So to just take everything that you know about a person and then they commit suicide, you question it like, yo, is that for real? You know, do you think he was robbed and they made him do it? Like, you just start thinking, not him. You know, and it hurts my heart that this man left behind his youngest child is 3 years old. She didn't even get a chance to experience her father the way the 2 oldest children got a chance to experience him.
Yeah. What's up,
You
Fields?
know, like,
Welcome to the
hey, Fields.
to the panel.
Hey, what up, though?
What up, Fields?
Go ahead, Monica. Didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, no, baby, you fine. You know, I mean, for me, like, I care. You know what I'm saying? I care about our men. I care about our men of color. Like I love people, but I love our men. And that's why I go so hard to say every woman should not be looped in the same category as the ones that you dated, dealt with, chose to date. Like, one bad decision don't rule out everything for everybody. And I know a couple people wanted to know, did him and his wife go through something? Are they getting a divorce? Do they have money problems? You know, was it another woman? Sometimes men just don't know how to express how they feel, let alone want to express it without somebody looking at them as if it's a joke or laughing at them, which is some disrespectful shit to me, yo. How
There's a lot of
dare
questions.
would you want a man to open up and then you want to fucking laugh at him?
That happens. It happens like that. But my question is, what made him feel like he couldn't confide whatever was going on in his wife? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's
Was
right.
it infidelity on his part? Was it because the only things, in my opinion, that lead to a person deleting? I don't want to say the S word on YouTube because that causes to put you in a certain category.
Yeah,
but
you're right.
cause a man to delete himself is money problems, woman problems, or some type of embarrassment from a situation where, like, you know what I mean, you got caught doing something that you wasn't supposed to do. You're gonna be facing some, you know what I mean, some type of backlash or whatever. It's usually the only times that a man will end up, you know, deleting themselves. So
right.
Because my question
So
is, and it's going to have a bunch of questions that's never going to be able to really get answered like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But just my question is, and as we welcome Charlotte to the panel, Charlotte, welcome to the panel.
Hey, how y'all doing?
All right.
Hey, Charlotte.
And but yeah, just it's questions there. It's like, what, you know, what was going on in this man's life that made him decide to go ahead and go through with this, and why couldn't he talk to his wife of all people? You know?
So I was reading articles for all over, you know what I'm saying, just to get a different perspective, and I came across PriorityGroup.com. They surveyed 1,000 men in the UK in regards to mental health with men. And it said 77% of men polled have suffered with common mental health symptoms like anxiety, stress, or depression. And then they broke it down even further. 40% of men have never spoken to anyone about mental health. 29% of those who haven't done so say they are too embarrassed to speak about, while 20% say there is a negative stigma on the issue, which is what I was just speaking about. But one of the biggest causes, just to circle back with you, Malcolm, it says the biggest causes of mental health in men's lives are work. That came up at 32%, finances, 31%, and then their health, which is at 23%. So out of the key findings, again, this is PriorityGroup.com, women don't even come up in this statistic.
For stress?
And the reason why I want to, well, women specifically, so they didn't break it down in regards to what stress is, the way they broke it down, work, health, and so they broke down wealth, or they broke down health, finances, and work.
Right.
So stress could be anything. You could be driving and be stressed. You know what I'm saying? You could have anything could
yes,
could
a
cause
number
you
of
to
factors
stress
can
out.
cause stress, right? Yeah.
Right.
So that's different from
just to have, you know, an even playing field. Right away, some people do jump to think it was a relationship or it was a woman.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Or I don't even want to just say a woman, because we do have men out there who play both sides of the fence and they keep that other lifestyle secret.
Yeah.
They portray as being straight, but they mess around on the other side and they keep that life a secret.
Yeah.
You know, so I just wanted to get a feel for what was out there. And that article, they pulled 1,000 men from UK. Like I said, I just wanted to look around to see what was, you know, going on in the world. And it was striking to me. Go ahead, Phils.
No, I mean, just your statistics that you just showed prove that, like, men, like, the stuff that you listed are all providing and protecting aspects, right? So our innate, like, job is to provide and protect for our family, right?
Right.
So if we don't have a job that provides us the financial stability, we can't provide. If we don't have our bodies, we can't protect. So, like, those three things, like, even, like, I can be a buck with you. Those three things run through my brain all the time.
Right.
Like, you know, I have health issues that I'm trying to mitigate through eating better, you know, the poisons that they put in our food, et cetera, et cetera. I'm trying to find different ways to where I'm financially free for my family, because I don't necessarily want to be working for somebody else for the rest of my life. That's not something that I strive to. So that's a stressor in and of itself. So my wife is secondary from that. Like this is about, like, I have a family, I have a wife, I have 2 children that I took on the responsibility of being a provider and a protector for. And it ain't about, like, you know, what my wife do and the stresses that my wife could potentially have, right? I don't even think about that. My first and foremost thing is, can I put food on the table, and am I going to be around long enough to see my grandkids? Like, these are thoughts that go through men's head on a daily basis that women have no idea. And what's funny is, like, we and I'm sure all the men on this panel can attest to it. We've heard this thing called man up our whole life. Like man up, be like that it ain't as bad. Like, bro, like everybody has their own stress, right? So you can't, like, but that's what we get as men, like, from heck, even our peers, from the women that we date. Oh, you shouldn't be that soft. Like, you don't know what that does to somebody. Like, how would a woman feel if I told you to, like, woman up? No, you gave childbirth, woman up. Like, you can tough that out, tough this out.
Yeah, that's
like,
your job, yo.
Like,
what you complaining for? That's what you born
feel?
here for.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's some stuff that, like, women do not understand, like, the mental rigors that men go through and suffer in silence on a daily basis. Like, stuff that we just be like, you'd be like, oh, you know, I couldn't tell that Malcolm was hurting today. He just is always smiling and things of that nature. Malcolm could be dying inside. Like, he could be like one Snickers break away from, like, jumping off a cliff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, think about all the guys who jump off cliffs. Like, you know, we all say, like, it's just money, right? The New York Stock Exchange, how many people jumped off buildings?
Yeah, when I crypto,
like, you know what I'm saying?
When that crypto,
like,
that FTX went,
like, you know, that kind of decision that you're trying to
of
set up your family, and you couldn't come out that is wrong, and you just bankrupt your family, and now how am I going to provide? And I'm looking at it at a short-term situation like that. Like, so, you know, like, the facts that you provided should be like a macro view of, like, these are the things that men think about first and foremost. Like, a woman is secondary. Like, if I'm a husband, like I need to make sure I'm of sound mind, sound body, and sound pockets for my wife and my kids. And that's why we always say, like, we always ask, like, women just to be the peace. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just like, because I love y'all, but y'all do not understand, like, because we beat ourselves up in our head, and y'all will never know.
Fields, are we to blame for that? Because I know if you
nobody said you was blaming though.
No. I'm asking a question, but at the same time, I'm adding to it, and I do want you to elaborate on it a little further. But a lot of times, your partner is held accountable for what you actually bring into the relationship, and you haven't healed from. A lot of time, and before, I'm not saying that it's just men. However, when it comes to men expressing themselves and actually, wanting to communicate about things that bother them, some men will just choose not to even speak about it because of what you just said. You were raised to say, man up, toughen up. You better not cry. You better
man
not
don't want
pout.
to feel vulnerable. He don't want to be looked upon as vulnerable. So he's definitely going to act a certain way. He's not going to express all his feelings, especially.
But I feel like it's a woman's job to bring that out of her man. If you want to hear
I
that,
agree with that.
that side of your man, you have to be the person that he can confide in, which means you can't be telling my secrets that I'm telling you to your girlfriends and your family. All right, to use against me. You can't bring that stuff up later. If I tell you something that's in the messed up situation that I'm thinking of, you can't bring it up later during an argument to throw it back in my face. These are undermining things that women do a lot of the times that just make men just go into a shell. You'd be like, you know what? I can't even discuss that. I'm not even going to discuss it with her because all it's going to end up happening is she's going to throw it back in my face later, or she's going to run and tell her, best friends that she tell everything to. You know what I'm saying?
Or it's just not going to be listened to. It's just going to be brushed aside.
Right.
I think, in a relationship, when you are going through something with your partner, the weaker person, and I'm not saying weaker physically, weaker mentally, the weaker person definitely has the ability to weaponize your words against you. I definitely believe that, you have the ability to hit below the belt. And, unfortunately, Malcolm, that's not just a woman thing, but I can tell you as a person that has done that before. Yes, I've done that before. And I've done it, with more than one partner. And I learned, from that, which is why I'm in a better place to nurture a relationship and not add harm to the relationship. You have to get to a point in your life where you're right. You can't take what you're asking of a man. You want to take that and weaponize it against him and destroy him and think that he's going to be the loving, affectionate man that you want him to be. It doesn't work like that. And vice versa. That's why I said there's no reason why two people who don't have knowledge of self can't get together and enjoy each other without destroying their relationship. If the communication is solid within you.
Where would a woman learn this from?
I learned it from wisdom. Wisdom.
Through going through it.
And you know what, Phils? True, Malcolm. But you know what, Phils? In a fantasy world, you're right. But guess what? There's a lot of men and women that are absent. Just because you created me, don't mean that you are supposed to parent and raise me.
Well,
and that's a whole nother topic. But I feel what you're saying.
But we always talked about this, right? We all know the black father is not in the household, right? And y'all all know that.
Everybody knows that.
I'm a very spiritual man. So Ephesians 6:4 says fathers are supposed to raise their children. Says it straightforward. Fathers are supposed to raise their children, right? So we know what the root cause is. Black daddies ain't in the house. As a matter of fact, daddies ain't in the house. Period. We got it. We know the reason. We know the problem. How do we fix it? We fix it by saying like, hey, I know you messed up. I know I messed up. I like you. You like me. Let's understand that we are both going through things that we are trying to grow out of. Because guess what? Everybody shit stink. Period. Mm-hmm. Everybody been on trips and got luggage. Period. Mm-hmm. So to think like you're gonna get a self-made man or woman or whatever that's gonna have do all your checklists, and then they gonna have time for you to fix your shit. No, everybody's a work in progress. And if you don't go into relationships and if you don't go into marriages realizing that you both are working together to heal yourselves, because that's all it is. We are accountable for healing each other and ourselves. Because there's something in you, Monica, as my friend, I'm going to learn from. That's going to make me a better man, because that's how I view relationships between everybody. Like that's the whole thing about people, like relationships, period. If I call you my friend, we've entered into an agreement to whereas I won't do harm to you, like because do unto others as you want done unto yourself. That's no different than a husband and a wife. That's no different than from a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Because the thing is, if all I did was pick at the thorn in your eye, I'm ignoring the thorn in my eye. Right? So if all I'm saying is I'm noticing how bad you are at this and how bad, like, hold on, take a step back, pump the brakes. He human, you human. But just know, like, hey, we all have, like, because the thing is, if you don't think you can improve in anything, you might as well just die right now. We all got work to do, baby. Like be it like, you know, physically, you don't like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was one thing, like, we constantly give concessions to our inner selves, right? That's the reason we don't improve. So how you expected somebody else to prove when y'all both making concessions to your inner selves about, hey, I'm fine where I'm at.
Right.
So coming together and knowing like, hey, we all got to do this together and improve together. That's gonna stop. Like, okay, well, you know what? I'm not gonna say that. Like that, that can hurt somebody. If I repeated what he said to me in anger, would I want somebody to do that to me? Like, you would seriously stop yourself before you said it.
Right.
But that's improvement.
Right.
Instead of just saying like, hey, I'm hurt and I'm gonna hurt you back. Because the easiest person to hurt is the person that's right next to you, that you love the most.
Right. Right.
That's the easiest, because you wouldn't hurt a stranger on the street like that.
Right. Well, I definitely put a question in a chat, and you know, basically want to know the thoughts of the listeners. Should men and women enter a relationship choosing to heal, you know, together? And you said a lot. You know, you definitely added a lot.
Is that a woman's job in a
I don't think
relationship?
it's a
Woman's
woman's
job.
It's she can help, but I don't think it's her job solely. It's your job.
Yeah, like, it's our jobs to heal ourselves. But if we in a relationship, like, for example, with me and my wife, bro, we went to marriage coaching. Because sometimes we don't know the answer to the shit that's fucked up with us. It's always like, what if CeeLo said, in order for me to understand myself, I had to go ask somebody else. Because you can't see yourself. Like, you can't, like, you know what I'm saying? Because you are yourself. You can't take your eyes out and be like, damn, I just moved real far right there. You find somebody that you trust and be like, hey, man, that wasn't cool. And if you trust me and you know that I'm looking out for your best interest, this is all I'm saying. So being humble enough to listen to somebody who's got your best interest at heart, that's something that you have to put in place. And then you can heal from there. But no, our healing is our own. But if we're in a relationship, it should be a team effort, because I'm sure some things that she need to heal from.
What I find is that
her for.
What I find is that guys inherently, we know this. As men, we know this. We know that we have to improve, and that we, you know what I mean? There's a bar that's set for us to reach. You know what I mean? As a man, either you're gonna reach it or you're not gonna reach it. And we know the difference. You know what I'm saying? So we know there's men out there that's piece of shit that ain't no good, that, you know, whatever. And we know there's great men out there that achieve shit. Where's the women at with all this?
But can I say something?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Healing has nothing to do with being a piece of shit, though. Healing is something that you seek for yourself. So when you're entering into a relationship, in my opinion, if you're not healed, you have no business being in a relationship, because it's too much work and it's too much stuff that you got to go through on your own journey to try to mesh that on a journey with someone else who also needs healing. Mm-hmm. So when you have two healed people, then you can come together and start working on, you know, having a good relationship. But if you're not healed, you shouldn't even be in a relationship.
I definitely
Is anyone
agree with that.
completely healed though? Is anyone completely healed?
And Ricks, I was definitely going to bring that up. Let me just read the comments from the chat. Hey Kyra, glad you could join.
Kyra, what up?
Appreciate you. Frank is in the room. Y Body says, some say, so I asked the question, of course, and Y Body says, some say no, some say the man, and some should have everything together before embarking on a relationship, which is what Charlotte was just touching on. And then Kyra said, it absolutely should be a team effort to heal together. So here, and Danine just said, hey, Danine is in the chat. Charlotte, I definitely agree with you. I definitely agree that you need to heal as much as possible, but you're going to take memories into a new relationship. And because you can't erase your memories, right? And anybody can trigger a thought that'll take you back to something, which is why it is important to heal from it and try your best not to hold that trigger against the person that you're entertaining currently. But you constantly have to speak positivity into yourself so that a trigger won't cause you to lose focus or sight of what your journey is in life, which is to walk in the path of righteousness of the true and living, which is yourself. If you're not willing to let some baggage go, you're not ready for a relationship. That includes having sex, because you're using sex as a weapon to release something, but you still not healed from other shit, because now you're using that person to get something off. That person could potentially start to like you. You ain't even in that headspace. You just looking to get your rocks off. And then what? The whole conversation is, well, you should have known that I didn't want no feelings because we had the conversation, but it doesn't matter because we know aura exists. And if your energy could potentially come off and strike a person as being something they're looking for, they may put a little bit more into it. Not saying it's the other person's fault. I'm just saying other things that can come into play.
That's why I think it's important for men, especially men that have value, to ignore women with higher body counts, because it's just too damaged, and all they do is bring in damage to the relationship. Whereas it's a woman's role to follow a man's lead, but I find that usually the more guys that a woman has been through, the less she's able to follow that man's lead and direction.
I think that's a harsh generalized statement, Malcolm.
Very harsh, but
because what does that have to? So do you feel the same about a man who has a high body count?
No.
Why?
Because men and women aren't the same.
Okay, elaborate.
We're
because
different.
Because a man who has a high body count, in my opinion, is devaluing himself just as much as a woman who had a high body count.
No,
and just because you have a high body count doesn't mean. Let's be clear. Let's be clear for one moment. Most people who have a high body count, you want to call it, was promiscuous as a teenager or as a young adult, is trauma involved. So that's what when we talk about healing, those are the type of things. So if you have a high body count, that don't mean that's who you are.
Let me tell you the difference.
Tell me the difference, yeah.
Okay, for women are the gatekeepers of sex. Okay, for men, we have to earn that. So I can't just walk outside and just be like, hey, who wants to have sex right now? What's up? I'm not going to get anything that way. You know what I'm saying? So I had to develop a skill. Listen to what I'm saying. Hold on, listen to what I'm saying. That a woman who was sexually assaulted and as a result became a promiscuous young woman, has a high body count, is incapable of having a good relationship as an adult? Yes.
No. But you kind of made the argument because you said like she's promiscuous because of trauma.
Yeah,
most
right,
people.
But you have to. That's the part that you have to heal.
But that's not on me to heal. That's you.
No, we're not asking the man to heal that. You can't. I can't ask a man to heal that trauma.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my trauma.
Okay, let's just go likelihood. I'm not saying it's impossible, sister. I'm not saying it at all. People change, the world changes, life changes. The one thing that is consistent is change. It's on the woman to change. The probability of that woman having a successful relationship in the future is very low. That's all we saying.
It's not where y'all getting y'all facts
I'm about to say where y'all getting these facts from.
These facts, these are something that these are things that should be obvious. You shouldn't even have to. Come on.
No,
someone who is
having a voice is not the obvious. I need to know where you're getting your facts from, because for you to be so strong and your stance.
Well, which facts are we talking about?
This is what we're talking about right now.
You said that a woman with a high body count has a less probability of having a successful relationship as opposed to a man who has a high body count. He can still have a successful relationship. It's not the same.
I was saying trauma. I didn't say anything about body count.
Because trauma has nothing to do with man or woman. Trauma is trauma.
So there's several studies about this.
Say it again.
There's several studies about this, but I just pulled up one from 2016.
Oh no, that's too far. I need something closer. Come on now. Don't try to go back 10 years, Brother Malcolm.
Well,
because in 2016, how old were you and how old was I?
Well, how long have human beings been around?
But what I'm saying
Let's deal with the entire time of
what I'm going to say is this.
It's 2022 though.
I'm going to say this. A person, man or woman, who is unhealed, regardless of their body count, is not going to have a healthy relationship, period. It doesn't matter if you slept with 10 people, 4 people, 24 people, 50 people. If you are a type of person who that's what you've been used to doing, and you are not healed from what caused you to do that in the first place, then you're not going to be in a successful relationship. And that's man or woman.
Well, now we're changing the...
Because I'm going to tell you, I don't know about your statistics, but I know plenty of reformed hoes out here who are in successful relationships, okay? With high body counts and all. And they manage to go to counseling, seek the therapy that they need, and are now in what you will call a healthy
divorce rate is over 50% of all marriages in the United States. So which part of those?
And why is that?
And which part of those is you saying?
Which part of those divorce rates?
But one out of every that's less than one out of every 2 marriages.
And the women are also the majority of women are the ones who file for divorce. And why is that?
So
because of the misconduct of their husbands. So
you're saying you know plenty. I say that.
Okay, so where's that statistic saying?
Oh, wait a minute.
Hey, okay, hold on.
So wait a minute. Wait 1 second.
Hold on.
Wait 1 second. Wait 1 second.
Can you throw that statistic up saying that it's the misconduct of the husband? Because from what I saw, it's because of finances. Hold on. With anybody.
Hold on. Let's before we chime into that, I want to read what has been put in the chat. But I just want to say to both you, Fields and Brother Malcolm, y'all can't put out a comment about women and not pull up statistics. But yet when Charlotte just made a comment, the first thing y'all want to do is jump on her about a statistic. If we're gonna play the statistic game, let's play fair. But something from 2015, we're about to go into 2023.
That's 6
the
years
world
ago.
was totally different. But hear me out. The world was totally different. And we ran through a pandemic. Come on, Fields. Let's call a spade a spade. We ran through a pandemic that took out how many people in the world?
What the hell?
We went through a whole lot because divorce rate has gone up in the pandemic. People lost their jobs. People lost their minds. Like that. This was my first time living through a pandemic. And it wasn't easy having to stay secluded in this house and be afraid to walk out the door. So all I'm saying is if we're going to pull out some statistics, and Brother Malcolm, I'm just fucking with you. You could speak you could talk about the statistic from 2015. I'm just saying, let's look for something more current because in 2015,
it takes
the
a
world
long time
was
for these
different
types of studies to get done, girl.
But
You can't. That's,
you're right, it do. You're right, it do. I'll give you that.
2022.
So,
if you're gonna do that, then you got to get out there and do the study. You have to get out there and do it. If you ain't gonna do
but
the
I
work,
know we had.
if you ain't gonna do the work involved, then let me go ahead and talk about the study that I found. I found another one in 2017. What I'm saying
is, thank you. So hold that thought. Let me just read some of the comments from the chat, and then you can go ahead and talk about your statistics. But Wide Body is listening, y'all. Hey, bro. Hope you're enjoying your vacation. But he said peace to everybody. Charlotte Wide Body said peace.
Yeah, it's a very good question. Go ahead.
So Malcolm said what's up to everybody out there. Wide Body said what's up, Charlotte. What's up, Malcolm? So Frank Gates Jr. is on. Hey, Frank. Frank said Fields is 100% correct on everything he's saying. Relationships are work of progress and they're not easy. Therapy is in order and both have to hold themselves accountable for each of their actions. Kyra said, Monica, you're absolutely correct. Wide Body said, well said, sis. Kyra wanted Malcolm to elaborate on his comment, which I do want you to circle back, Brother Malcolm. Then Brother Frank Gates said, women control who they have sex with, men control who they marry.
Very
Kyra
true.
wants facts. Bro said, what's considered a high body count? He
That's
said
a
hi to
great question.
Kyra.
That's a great question.
So
And
I want to tackle.
I like to ask the men here.
Mm.
Come on.
What would be a where your wife or your potential wife says to you, "Hey, I slept with this many guys before you," and then at that point she would become off limits to marriage for you? For me, it's over 5. If you got over 5, you're off limit. You're not worth marrying. That's my opinion.
I don't know, because I take self accountability. I'm in the triple digits, so I just
God damn.
Hey man, I went wild.
Yeah,
bro.
I don't want no chicken to triple. I don't even want to know shorty.
Like so I say over a dime. If she over a dime to me.
Yeah,
that's interesting that you said that. You agree with that, Rick?
10, 15. It's 2022. I'm gonna give him 10, 15.
It's interesting that y'all say that number. So researchers from the University of Utah, as a Daily Mail report,
I know that shit ain't happening.
Daily Mail, I'm sorry, reports women marrying after the year 2000 that had more than 10 sexual partners before tying the knot were the most likely to divorce. Let me see the highest 5-year divorce rates of all associated married. All right.
I need you to connect the dots though for me. What does partners, how does that equate to
your
divorce?
value in a woman? To me as a man, your value is in your ability to be an assistant, to be a helpmate to my life. As it says in the Bible, you're a helpmate to your husband. Your value comes to your ability to assist with my program, to get on my program, to come under my leadership. That's your ability. When you sleep with multiple dudes and you bring that into a relationship with me, that hinders your ability to be able to come under my leadership. Why? Number one reason I would say is because what can I show you? You know what I'm saying? If I'm supposed to lead you, if I'm supposed to teach you, what the hell can I show you if you already learned everything that I know? You know what I'm saying? 2, if we go on vacations and all that, it's likely if you dealt with multiple men, it's likely you've already been to these places that we've done. So, you know what I mean? You're just recycling the same shit. The shit for me, it needs to be new to you. You know what I'm saying? For me, it needs to be when I'm putting you up on something, I need to be putting you up on something for the first time. It needs to be your first time experiencing that so you can learn that from me, because this is the natural process of man and woman. This is a natural process. Your ability to do that becomes hindered by the more guys that you sleep with.
Okay, so all right. So then your wife, I don't know if you're married or not, or been married.
No, I'm not.
Okay. So you would not expect your wife to have a job and work and do all that stuff. She'll be home.
She doesn't need to. I make enough money where she doesn't need to. What we can do is we can start a business where she can be the, you know what I mean? She can be the day-to-day person that runs that business while I'm working my job, and we can achieve our financial freedom that way. But again, this is my program. So understand, if you get into a relationship with me, you are coming under my program and under my direction. So this is what we're going to do. If you don't want that, don't get into a relationship with me. But if you do, if this is, you know what I mean, what you want to do in life, and you want to be able to afford the finer things of life, because that's what I'm doing, sweetheart. So that's what a woman, if you're coming into a relationship with me, understand that's what we're going to do. Okay. And we're going to go all out and to achieve, to be able to live the finer life. You know what I'm saying? So just, you know what I mean? But to me, it's just, the more guys you've been with, the more a woman is resistant.
But then it's also the soul ties, right?
I'm going to say that. I agree with that. They're definitely more resistant.
More resistant. Yeah. Why don't we do it like this?
100%.
And I'm not playing that game. You know what I mean? When you deal with the kind of men, you know, if you're used to, I mean, y'all don't know what kind of men you're used to dealing with, or whatever. If you're used to dealing with dudes that don't work or don't have a job or don't bring much to the table, then to me, that's on you. And I don't even deal with women that deal with dudes like that. Okay. So I deal with women that look for higher value guys that, you know what I mean, that are able to come up under that leadership. But, you know, that's on you as a woman.
Hey, so let me read the comments. Let me just read the comments real quick, and then you can proceed, Fields.
Yeah.
So, Brother Malcolm got a shout out. Bro said, "Love the fact that Smooth be pulling up the stats with a whole bunch of exclamation points." And I agreed. Kyra said, "Really, Malcolm? Personally, it should be none of your business. Let me ask you, what is your body count?" Frank Gates Jr. said bad relationships have been happening for forever. It doesn't matter how long or short it is. The pandemic ain't got shit to do with cheating. Quit the cat. I guess he's referencing me, but I don't talk quit the cat to grown ass people. Wild Body said, "What up, Frank?" Frank said, "Wild Body, my boy, what's good?" Well, what's goody? Well, I guess I don't know. And
Dudes
then
talking to each other. Don't worry about that, girl.
Oh, okay. Okay. No. I don't, people be like, what's goody or whatever. I'm sorry. Yeah. And then Wild Body said, maintaining my G. So go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't want to interrupt this.
No. Okay. So Monica, this is from an article. I put it in the member group chat because I don't know how to put it in our whatchamacallit group chat, right?
Okay.
Article from November 1st, 2022.
Okay.
Right? And number 27. Incompatibility is the leading cause of divorce in the United States. According to the Institute of Divorce Financial Analysts, the number one reason for divorce in America is basic incompatibility. 43% of research participants cited this reason as their primary decision to getting divorced. Infidelity and money issues were also highly relevant, with showing of 28 and 22% respectively for divorce. The causes of divorce statistics highlights the most common reasons for couples to request a divorce, although parenting differences, addictions, and abuse are commonly cited too. So, what's basic incompatibility?
It's word salad, bro. It means, I'm not happy. That's what that means. Just like irreconcilable differences.
I'm divorced, and that's what our divorce was, irreconcilable differences.
That's the leading cause of divorce by women, who are the leading people
filers,
the leading filers by a huge margin. Irreconcilable differences. This is what you have when you have a no-fault divorce, which is what our country is. If you go to a country like the Philippines or Thailand, where you cannot have a no-fault divorce, you have to have a reason, and you have to pay for it. I guarantee you there will be way less divorces in the United States if we had these kind of rules. But it just amazes me that women today they're more freer to do anything that they want to do. They're the most free women that has ever been.
Well, Malcolm, it sounds like you.
And they are the most unhappy that they've ever been. They are the most unhappy that they've ever been.
Oh, he does.
So Malcolm, Charlotte had a comment directed towards you, and I think we got cut out.
I said it sounds like you need to go to the Philippines to get the type of wife that you're looking for.
Oh yeah. We're gonna do this, Monica.
He working on it.
Working on it.
Go ahead.
So
we started this when I met Monica. I was in Thailand. Charlotte. So you know, what I mean, when we did a podcast, she jumped on and yelled at me for whatever I was saying. I was in Thailand at the time. This was in August.
So
and let's be honest too. A lot of people will cite irreconcilable differences because they don't want to put the honest answer as to why they're getting divorced. There's a lot of people
free to change their mind whenever they want.
But they're not going to put that on paper. So I don't know. I mean, regardless of what, I think the institution of marriage and the reason why people get married is misconstrued, which is why you have these incompatibility issues in marriage, because people think that it's going to be, roses and berries, all the days of your life.
Men get married to leave a legacy. We get married for children and to leave a legacy in this world. That's what men get married for.
Who thinks that getting married? No.
Our legacy is our children. You give a man a child, you gave a man the ultimate.
How many men look at that as a reason? How many men feel the way that what you're saying, legacy? Because if you talked about legacy, then a lot of times the faults that women, the complaints, because I know you have a lot of complaints about what women do and don't do, but us women have complaints too. And if it was all about legacy, then us women would feel the same way, that if you thought about legacy, maybe the things that you do that defile the marriage wouldn't happen if it was all about legacy.
So then my retort is
wait 1 second, Phil. Okay. I want Malcolm to answer that.
I take it you're talking about cheating, because this is what all women resort to.
It could be cheating. It could be gambling. It could be all the vices that men like to do. Take trips to the DR with their boys or Thailand or whatever, and with their wife at home who's taking care of the kids and holding everything down. It could be whatever you want
women
to
go on
call it.
girls trips too. So let's stop the cat with that.
Yeah, but
When
like you
Stella
said, men
got her
and women are
groove back
different. So
came
what
out,
the women do on girls
the
trips are
amount of
different.
people, the amount of
Men
women
and
going
women,
to
you said it. You said
Jamaica
men and women
went
are
up by
different.
over
What we
1,000%.
do is dead totally different than what y'all do.
By over 1,000%. When that movie came out, Jamaica tourism from black women went up over 1,000%. And it's still high to this day. You still got groups of women who go to Jamaica for what? I don't know, because y'all never tell.
Because they have to find the Ted Diggs. They got to find the Ted Diggs.
I had had one ex-girlfriend that told me the truth. She told me the truth. She was like, yeah, they be, you know what I mean? They get down over there. That's the whole point of going over there.
That's the first that I've ever heard of that.
I can't vouch for
My
that.
right
I've been
hand.
to Jamaica. I've been to
My
Jamaica
right hand.
several times, and I that's not why.
On a girls trip?
On a girl, yeah, with girls, yeah.
But wait a minute, this is
Listen,
the first
you don't have
that
to. You don't
I've
have to get
heard.
into that. It ain't important to get into. But I'm just saying, dudes, women
Well,
travel.
Malcolm,
too.
can you answer the question? Because a question was definitely raised. What your body count is?
Yeah, I'm not answering that.
Okay, so Kyra, you're not getting your answer. Let me read a couple of things from the chat.
Kyra,
why body?
Kyra's married, but if you want to know my body count, you can enter into a relationship with me. I'm still not going to tell you, but
Oh, you can lie in a relationship. You're going to enter into a relationship and not tell your wife or your woman your
that's
body
not
count?
a lie, but that's not important to you.
Well, if he's looking to marry a woman with less than 5 bodies, he's definitely gonna lie about his body count for sure. He's telling you, and that's
I'm not
gonna
lie.
What?
I'm just not gonna tell you. You won't know.
So right then and there, you're lying, and then she's gonna lie. So you got 2 liars in the relationship. Good luck.
Wait a minute, how's that lying if he just doesn't tell you?
Because if I ask and you choose not to tell me, then you're lying by omission.
No,
well,
you tell me. Hey, guess what? You can plead the 5th in court.
We're not in court. We're talking about relationships. We're not talking
guess
about
what?
court.
Hey, we're talking about the United States of America, where you can put basic incompatibility as far as not just saying the truth.
Okay, but we're talking about the problem with that. Are we talking about people who want to do better, or are we talking about people who want to go along with the status quo?
Let me ask you a quick question. My job as a husband is to protect and provide for my family. What's your job?
Don't worry about my job. That's not.
If we get married, I need to know that you can do your job.
My relationship is my job is whatever it is in my relationship.
Whatever it is.
Not every relationship is gonna be the same.
Yo, we've been through this before when no woman can answer this question and shit. So
That's not true. That's not true.
I never get an answer yet. What's the answer?
But so here's
the Monica thing. Answered it pretty straightforward though.
Thank you, Phil.
I never heard it.
Well,
she did. Hey, look, I'll give her the rose on that one. She did. Monica did.
Thank you, Phil.
What's the job?
It's not my responsibility to remind you, but I know all of these things are recorded for quality and training purposes. So you can always click that finger and go back. Well, let me read some of these comments. Why Body said he thought that that financially would be, higher on the totem pole from Fields, from the link that Fields had discussed. And I'm gonna actually post that in our chat so we could take a look at it, because Phil, that looks interesting. That looked like an interesting article, Phil. I want to read that. Thank you for bringing that up. It's got
like about 40 or 50. It's got about same-sex marriage. It's got like all kind of marriage info.
I want Malcolm to bring his up too from 2015, brother Malcolm. I don't want to.
The newest one. You want the one for 2015?
I want both of them now. I want both of them.
You want a lot. So, what do you get? What do I get? I'm doing all this for you. What do I get?
So let me keep reading. Frank said, women deny and lie about shit all the time, just like men. The rate of cheating between the both are the same. Kyra said, my job is to take care of my family. Kyra said, I've been doing this for 32 years. She's absolutely correct. She couldn't move without me on her hip. Want to circle back. Rick's was saying, Rick's kind of got drowned in the mix. He was saying something. Ricks, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. What was I saying?
You was speaking about damn, I heard you, but I didn't hear you. You were chiming in on what Malcolm and Charlotte was discussing. Malcolm, Charlotte, and Fields. I just couldn't hear everything you said because you said something and I wanted to tap into it.
Shit, I remember. I forgot. I remember the moment. I can't remember. You might have to give me a couple seconds on that one.
That's
I
all
just
right.
know
That's all right.
it was profoundly impactful what he had to say, and it's a shame that we can't revisit that.
Well, guess what? We can always table it for next week because Brother Wallace will be here. And I'm sure he would definitely want to add insight on this hot topic. But we're definitely making, good conversation because to me personally, I ain't going front. Body count don't matter to me. What you're bringing to the table in this relationship is what matters to me. Everybody has had a past. Everybody's past wasn't, made of silver and gold. A lot of people, have come up differently. And the good thing about growth is you've learned from what you've been through and you realize you don't want to be in that space anymore. One person asked me just the other day, Monica, I was in conversation with a couple of girls. They said, Monica, would you date a former drug addict? Yes, I would. I absolutely would. Why would I exclude a former drug addict if he's bringing to the table the qualities that I'm looking for in a relationship? So, that answered that question. Another person asked me, and this is no disrespect to individuals that's in the LGBT community. Somebody asked me, would I date a man who was formerly gay or bisexual? And my answer was no, I wouldn't. I want a man. I want a man that solely looks at women, only wants to be with women, and believes that he was uniquely designed for women. So there's things that when I have these conversations in my other girls group, and we quite often talk about relationships and what we believe are key factors to building a strong relationship or tearing down a relationship, infidelity pops up a lot. Communication and the irreconcilable differences pops up a lot. Finances pop up a lot. And there's a lot of markers, within those three topics alone. But I really want to know, just to circle back to this whole number factor, why is a woman's past
let me explain it to you.
so important?
Hey, hold on.
Go ahead.
When it's not important to you, Malcolm.
Because
see, that was direct. That was direct for Malcolm.
Oh,
well,
come on,
here's
come
the
on,
thing,
Rick.
right?
Go ahead.
Come on, Rick.
I do things a certain way, right? My life is my life, and it's okay if you don't want to be a part of that. That's fine. I've been rejected, millions of times. Advances to women, you know what I'm saying? So that's fine. The problem is if you want to come into my life and be a part of that, you got to unlearn all that. Whatever you did prior to me is irrelevant. Understand that, you know what I'm saying? Because we're not doing whatever you used to do with the old guys that you dated or whatever. We're not doing that over here. Over here, we're doing my program. We're doing Malcolm's program. So you're going to have to learn Malcolm's program. You're going to have to unlearn whatever program you was on before. And you have to learn Malcolm's program. So that, in essence, is the difference. No matter who I deal with in the past, right? I'm always doing Malcolm's program, no matter who I deal with. You, on the other hand, whoever you deal with, you're on their program. So you're jumping from program to program to program. At a certain point, you know what I mean? I don't know if you can handle all that. You know what I mean? I have significant reservations about a woman's ability to be able to handle different programs. You know what I'm saying? And be able to get in line with mine.
But if you choose to be intimate with a woman, that's a program. Because if you're calling yourself and everything that comes with you a program, you intertwining with a woman is learning and adapting to that program, even if it's for the moment.
No, that's me. This is me using my skill to be able to get intimate with a woman. That's me using my skill. That has nothing to do with being on my program. No, it's not.
It's a part of you. If it's a part of you.
If I got a girl that comes over here every Saturday,
part of you.
If I got a girl that comes over here over this house every Saturday, that's my Saturday girl. Okay, it's still my program. She's just my Saturday girl. You know what I mean? I might have a Tuesday girl, I might have a Wednesday girl, whatever the situation that you know what I mean. And that's all she is to me. Understand? She's nothing more than that to me. Whatever she does. But
you're saying that if a woman comes into your world, she has to adapt to your program.
Well, if she's gonna be in a relationship with me, yes. If you're not in a relationship with me, I can't.
But your
tell
body
you
count is a part of your program, though, is what I'm trying to get you to understand. Regardless of whether or not you share that with her or not, you still have absorbed energies from your Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday,
don't
Friday.
stop me from doing anything I'm doing. I still continue to do whatever the hell I'm doing. The sex is just sex. For a man, sex is just sex. It's just a way to ejaculate.
Come on, Phil. Come on, Phil.
I think the biggest thing that is the disconnect is women have standards. That's cool, Monica. You would date a reformed drug addict, but you ain't gonna date a reformed dookie shooter, right? Cool. That's your standard, right? That's your standard, right? Men have standards too. And if you don't want to rock with our standards, that is so cool. But don't beat us up about it. These are our standards. So if we say, hey, I don't want a girl who's
the sisterhood gonna come.
You know what I'm saying?
If she pushes, have standards as men. Men are allowed to have standards.
Like for example, she pushing 200 pounds. Nope. She don't. You know what I'm saying? She putting a weave in her hair. Nope. But why? These are my standards. Your standards are cool. Like if I fit into your standards, you know what I mean? Right? If I did everything to fit in your standards,
okay,
fit mine. And if you don't want to, that's cool. We can get rocks. We can humbly part ways. We can share, that hand pound, be out. But that's the thing. Like when women have standards, we're supposed to accept them. When men have standards,
women don't want to conform though.
What?
In 2022, women don't want to conform to that.
Exactly.
They have their
they
own,
don't want to. They're like, why should I have to meet that standard for you for me to date you?
They don't want to link up with another man's program.
The sisterhood comes
I think it's too many generalizations because I wouldn't agree with that. Your standards are your standards, and you deal with women who can get on your standards, just like women have their standards. The problem I have is the generalizations that you put in on all women.
We don't know the difference.
I'm not speaking on all women. I could never speak on all.
So Charlotte, let me say this, Charlotte, and then I'm gonna hush up and let y'all continue. One thing I can tell you about the group, and you've been a part of the listening ear on the other side of the fence, they do generalize a lot, but I truly believe that these men are not speaking for all women. Wait a minute, Brother Malcolm, is that a true statement for you?
I'm saying we don't know the difference. We don't know the difference between the real women and the hoes. Why? Because anytime you speak on the hoes, the whole entire sisterhood comes at you. The whole sisterhood comes at you for anything. It's y'all job to start calling that shit out. When y'all see that foul behavior from the girls,
because you're being unsympathetic to the hoes. You're being unsympathetic.
If I see 10, as a man, if I see 10 lions coming towards me,
wait. One at a time. One at a time.
I'm not gonna sit here and try to figure out which lions are the man eaters and which ones don't eat men. I'm not trying to figure that out. I'm getting the fuck out of there because it's 10 lions coming at me. So in essence, that's what women are. Y'all became like the lions. Basically, no man can figure out which ones is the real girls and which ones is the hoes and what's the difference because we want the real girls. Women. We want the real women. Yeah, but that's what we're looking for marriage. We're looking for
you have to put time. You have
all
to put
y'all
time
come
in
to each other's
and want that.
To each other's rescue. Anytime a man says anything about a woman, anytime a man says, hey, if I want a woman to be to just chill in the house and to be a housewife, you know what I'm saying, while I go out here and work, as you stated earlier, you know what I mean, I can tell by the facial features that you was making when you said that statement. Y'all look down for that, and y'all gonna come down on that woman like, yo, what did you do? You know, you don't have to sit in the house and while he go to work and all that shit.
That's false.
You know, why can't a woman be a housewife?
That's false.
Why can't a woman be the housewife? But you can't do that because the sisterhood will come for you.
I was a housewife.
Let her answer the question.
That's a false statement you making right there, Malcolm. That's false. My problem is that you are generalizing. My problem is if you want a wife that's a housewife that don't have to work, that's what you want for yourself. But don't downgrade everybody else because that's not what they want. If I don't want that for myself, then I'm not going to get in a relationship with someone who does want that. So it's nothing wrong with that, but y'all making these big time generalizations about body counts and this, that, and the third, and y'all not taking into consideration. Like I said, There's women who are 40, 50 years old and they choose to hoe around. And hey, if that's what they choose to do with themselves at that age, that's their prerogative. But
And
there's
there
women
used to
out
be
here
grandmas would tell the young
is
women
what-
what the right way to go about shit. But now we got
Wait,
grandmas
what?
twerking.
Malcolm,
We got grandmas
Malcolm,
twerking. Where's the old women
Malcolm,
who telling young women what was the right
wait
way?
a minute. Let her finish her statement, and then you can chime in. I do want to read from the chat, though. But Charlotte, you touched on something important, and I don't want you to lose sight of it. Because you say you were a housewife. Hold on.
There are women out here, real
Yeah.
women, boss women, whether they
With a
work at
degree.
home, whether they
With a
work
degree.
with degrees,
Nobody
degree
cares about
up,
that shit.
smart women, women who either work at home or they work out in the field, who may went through some trauma. And with that trauma came promiscuity that might have a high body count, higher than the 5 that you prefer.
And you're
That
disqualified.
does not indicate their ability to be submissive. See, the problem is men want women to submit, but you have to give your woman something to submit to. Because
Conditional
by
submission.
natural order and design, a woman is going to submit to her man when the man is doing what he's supposed to do.
Conditional
The
submission. Y'all
problem
hear this?
is, if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, you're going to have a difficulty time having your woman submit to you.
Conditional submission, yo.
I don't know. I don't know if
disagree with
I
that.
don't know
I
if
disagree
you have to
with
pull
that.
your weight. It requires
There's
yes, it does require you to pull your weight.
There is selective submission. They submit. They pick on what they want to submit on.
No, it's a duty and a responsibility.
Hey,
and when a
so-
man walks in his masculinity, a woman can then be in her femininity.
Okay. So check it
I
out.
disagree with that.
Hey,
Isn't that word? That's
then
word
that
salad, bro.
becomes
That's word
That's not
salad.
word salad. That's true.
toxicity.
That's
Hey,
word salad, man.
A man can no longer be a man, a true man nowadays.
Why?
It becomes male toxicity.
It's not allowed.
Whatever label they put on.
Rix, what's a
You
true
cannot
man? A
stand
male, though.
firm.
What?
You
I
can-
need you to define a true male, Rix.
having a program, having a program that you want your mate to follow, that makes sense, that's logical, and you just don't want to be on the program because you feel you're independent, you feel you may have your own program, you might as well not be in a relationship. You might as well stay independent.
They don't
Keep
need
doing
you.
what you're doing. You don't need a man.
Where did I say that?
Hey, like, so here's my question, right? Hey, I'm taking full responsibility for the men on here. I'm gonna do it on my own, right? I'm about to tell you something because Monica know me. Proverbs 18:22 says, "He who finds a wife finds a good thing and receives favor from the Lord," right?
Right.
It didn't say he who finds a girlfriend.
Right.
It didn't say he who finds a woman that is out here doing what she's doing.
Right.
It says finds a wife.
Yes.
My question is,
Mm-hmm.
do women know what a wife is? And do women walk around acting like wives to be found?
No.
Because my job,
Not all.
no,
all.
because the thing is, my job is to find you, right? I have to find you. I will take 100% accountability on me as a man. I got to make sure I'm straight. I got to make sure I'm doing X, Y, and Z, blase split, right? So, do women know what a wife is? And do women walk around here acting like a wife to be found? Because the thing is, right? If your body count is high, is that acting like a wife?
So Fields, let me
No.
Here you go. I want to answer that question because that is a really Fields. That's a really good question. But let me read from the chat, and then we going let the women answer your question without being cut off. So Kyra says, Poochie, say it again so the people in the wherever can hear it. Frank says, I want to hear what the take is with relationships when it comes to men and women when their children come into play. Frank, is that outside children coming into the relationship or children that you created together in a relationship? Just elaborate a little bit further on that. Kyra says, snap up, Sister together. Charlotte. Okay. And then Frank said, women need to put their dick away and stop using their masculinity as a weapon against men that are willing to make wives of them. But most women are not wives.
Yeah, see, I don't deal with masculine women, and I'm not dealing with a woman that's bringing children in from another dude. You know what I'm saying? So those are two things I don't deal with. So the women that
So
pull out you want to pull your dick out, like my man Frank said, then that's not a woman that's worthy of a relationship of any kind to me.
Okay, so Fields, I just want to go back to your question, and your question was extremely important because when it comes down to wives, I'm gonna speak from my generation. I think we're all born in the 70s, if not early 80s. I think it's safe to say that. We saw different caliber of women, right? We saw women, some of us saw women working and still being able to maintain the home. We saw our grandmothers or our aunties or our neighbors, females, take care of the home and still maintain, taking care of the children. But there are things that lacked with having that visual experience. It could have been lack of communication, meaning that woman sitting down, actually sitting that little girl down to talk about the importance of a relationship with a man. That little girl only learned the relationship by visually seeing with her own eyes how the relationship between men and women interacted. Usually, I'm not going to say usually, I'm going to speak for myself. I grew up in a house where I was raised by my grandmothers and my mother worked. When my mother came home, my mother didn't carve time out to have conversation with me. So the majority of what I learned visually by watching my grandmothers and other women within the apartment complex. A lot of the men were not present. What I will also say is when the men did come, it could have been what they called a John, somebody else's husband. It could have been the husband, probably stopped at the bar first, had one too many, so he went straight to the bedroom. And my experience with having a man in the house did not come from my biological father, but it came from my bonus father. So when you say, were women, do they think they're marriage material? I didn't think I was marriage material because I didn't know what the hell men wanted other than some pussy. I'm being honest with you. And that's where my experience came from. And I was very open and honest with y'all about me making some decisions in my past that put me, some of it dug me in a deeper hole, but I wanted more. That wasn't how I felt my alignment to the true and living Monica Donato. That wasn't it. So I had to dig deep down and say, what do I want? And how can I achieve being the queen that I am? And I put in work. And where I landed, I was very fortunate to find a man who wanted to marry me and my children. However, infidelity separated that. And like I said, I'll bring my husband on this show any day of the week. He will look all of y'all in the face and tell y'all, I am a damn good woman with my baggage, with my children. And I can admit my flaws because I told my husband from the rip everything that I felt was needed to know, including my past sexual endeavors. So will every female come to the table knowing what it means to be a wife?
There's a lot of me's in there, Monica.
No, because I can only speak for myself.
There's a lot of me's and I's. I didn't hear much about what the men that you dealt with wanted.
But we're talking about me. We're talking about wives. Fields asked a question about, do women know how to be a wife?
Are wives alone or are they with somebody?
Malcolm, I'm gonna need you to listen. Because I fucks with you. I love you. I swear I do. And I will answer any question you want to know. But I wanted to address Fields because honestly, judging by the young woman's history, she may not know what it means to be a wife. So she can envision what she believes a wife should be. But you can't tell her what a wife should be. You can only tell her what your standards, your qualities, your program, whatever the case may be. And if she conforms to that, great. If that's not her design and you're not her cup of tea, that's fine too. But I'm answering his question as opposed to, do women even know how to be wives?
I think most women are just like you.
Spoke a bit.
They have no clue what a man
spoke
wants.
a bit on me.
Yeah, I think most women are exactly like you, Monica.
I put me in the hot seat, and I was answering from a Monica perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
glad that you gave that answer because I feel that you were so honest there that I wish every woman was that honest.
Malcolm, I have a serious question for you. Do you even like women? Because but what I'm hearing from you, you don't even like women.
Shame, insults, guilt, need to be right. That stuff doesn't work on me.
I'm not insulting you. I'm not. Believe me.
Shaming tactics.
I'm not. The obvious
you
is
like
like
women,
I'm
are you gay?
you.
In other words,
but
AKA,
no.
And I'm
not coming at a gay. No, I'm not. That's not where I'm coming from. What I'm coming from is actually more. There's more science behind what I'm saying to you. It has nothing to do with what I think you're gay. That's not even where I'm at with it at all. What I'm saying to you is every time somebody says something, your response is what a woman is supposed to do, what a woman says, what a woman. And it's to me, and this is my first time on the show. To me, and I've listened about 2 or 3 times with y'all. Mm-hmm. To me, what I hear from you is always this angerness, this bitterness about women and how they move. And it's clear that you want a subservient woman, probably a woman who don't have much to say, probably a woman who doesn't have much thought to bring to the table. Besides,
y'all don't have a lot to say. Y'all don't have much to say. That's interesting. Let me just be honest there.
Okay, that's cool.
I don't believe that, Malcolm, from you. I don't. You know why? Because you and I have had great conversation and dialogue, and I'm not just saying that because I'm on a panel. I think a lot of things that, first of all, I think Charlotte's question was an honest question. I don't think that was a dig. But at the same time, when you put out these statements, we're here to talk about it. And I told you from the rip, I thought you were interested and I wanted to learn more about you because I definitely believe you're knowledgeable of life and I would like to learn. But that's me.
I have to be. To be where I'm at 46 years old, I had to be. Mm-hmm. I had to develop some kind of talent and skill to get here.
And you want to know something? We all had to tap into who we are and what direction we want to travel down. So I want to learn from you. When Fields talk, I want to learn from Fields, RTO, Dixie when he's on the show, bro, whoever is out there, the listeners. I want to learn from y'all because that's going to make me a better, that's going to heighten my wisdom. So that when I am out there and I hear people speak a certain way, it's going to teach me how to not react in a negative way, but more so embrace a person and just want to know where they come from. I'm interested. I want to know. So I don't think you hate women, and I don't think
I don't.
All women. I think
Charlotte knows that I don't. I think what she was really trying to ask, where she was really trying to go with it, is the equality question. I think that's what she was really trying to go with. Because you can't. Well,
think and I know you don't think men and women are equal, so that I'm not even going to patronize that thought.
No.
Wait, let me read these questions, guys. Let me read these comments in the chat, and then we can pick it up. And I definitely want to go back, if we can, y'all. I want to go back to Frank's comment about women and masculinity because he brings up a good point. And I think it definitely makes for good conversation. Thanks, Frank, for bringing that up. But Frank gave you props, Malcolm, on what you were saying. Then Frank said, at least you're being honest, Monica. Most women mask that from men. You're absolutely correct. Bro said, preach, sis. Kyra said, oh shit. And I think she said that to Charlotte's question. And then Frank followed up and said, a man, quote unquote, will tell a woman what he wants, but it gets questioned and we're also ignored for it. Us men would like to know why. So go ahead, Malcolm,
Yo.
Charlotte.
Well, the sisterhood will come for you.
Fields.
Man. The sisterhood will come for men, and they come for any women that agree with men. That, you know what I mean? You need masculine men in this world. This world was built by men. Everything that we're enjoying right now is because of men. The fact that we're on a Zoom call, that we have some sort of internet, that some man is climbing up to some tower that's way up in the on a mountaintop somewhere, so we can be able to sit here on a Zoom call. That was built by a man.
Yeah, the man might be the head, but the woman is the neck. And without the neck, you can't move your head.
No, actually, it's without the brain. The brain tells the body what to do. So the head
Well,
tells the body what to do.
So let's talk about the brain. The brain stem. The brain stem has a foundation, and it is
in the
within
neck.
the neck.
But guess what?
So it's all
the
connected.
neurons comes from
I
the
get
head.
what she was saying.
It comes from
I
the
get
head.
what she was saying.
The point that I'm
and
making
I get what
is-
you were saying.
The
but
point I'm
the
making
point
is men will not be a man without the woman, period. We need each other. So stop pretending like we don't need each other.
We need you to continue the civilization. That's what we
Man couldn't do this.
Women
Man
need men
couldn't
for
do
everything
this
else.
thing called life. Man couldn't do this
We'd be
thing
just fine
called
without
life
women.
by themselves.
We'd be just fine
Men-
without women.
Men couldn't do this thing
the
called
human race
life
will cease to exist
by themselves.
without women. And this is your
Men-
job.
So then
This
y'all
is
need
your
to do it
importance
without us then.
to the human
Men
race.
could not
Could not
do
what?
this thing called life
Why not?
without women.
Why?
It's
Can
biblical,
y'all
bro.
impregnate
Because-
yourself?
Bro,
Come on now.
like,
You
look,
go back
Come on,
to
bro.
what Phil said, it
Hey,
now
wasn't
you-
Human
designed
race
by
will cease
men.
to exist without women. Yes,
Hey,
But- without
Oh,
men,
it's
without men
Look,
here,
Let me eat my
95% of women would die. You would
Bro,
not be able to
we-
live. First
we-
of all, you
look.
need a man to kill a mouse. You can't even kill a mouse by yourself. How you going to be able to lift? How you going to be able to? Do you? All right, tell me this. Tell me what happens when you flush the toilet. What happens when you flush the toilet? Right? What happens? We're
I want to
living
go
in
back to the
luxury
mouse comment.
that we
You
don't
really
even
said
question.
women can't kill a mouse
You
without
need
a man?
to kill a
That
mouse
you-
or a damn spider, girl. So come on, miss me with that shit. So anyway,
You got me on a spider, but not a mouse.
okay.
You
got me on a spider,
but not a
girl,
mouse.
guess what? No spiders is coming in this house and living where I'm at. Ain't no spiders welcome in here. Ain't no
Because you
mice
gonna
welcome
kill
in here.
it. Because you gonna kill it.
Guess what? I
But
don't
the
need to call
mouse-
nobody. I do it myself.
The mouse, I'm down there filling them holes with Brillo pad and all of
Okay,
that shit too.
all right.
You know we grew up in public
Okay,
houses.
my
Stop
point
playing.
is,
But that
don't skip
spider-
over
that
my
spider,
point.
you gonna kill
What
it.
happens when you flush the toilet, woman? You going down in these manholes, and they call manholes for a reason, but you going down, and either one of y'all doing that?
I was stuck
Y'all
in
better
one.
praise the
I was stuck
ground
in
that
one.
men walk on. Y'all
I
better
was stuck in one.
start praising the ground that us
I
men
was
walk
stuck in
on out
one.
here.
Hold on.
You
I
was stuck
was
in one.
stuck
Who
in
came
one.
and got you? Who came and got you?
I was stuck in one.
Who came and got you?
What do you mean? Who came and got me? It
You know
doesn't
that-
matter.
You know
You
what I
asked the
mean,
question.
Monica. Don't play with me.
You
You know
said
what I
that.
mean, woman.
No, your question was, are you women going in the sewers?
Without getting stuck
and
in
I-
one. Are you
But I was
voluntarily
wrong.
going
But I
down
was
there
wrong
having
with
rats
asking
and
if
roaches
Malcolm
crawling
liked
all
one.
over
He
you?
just said he could do this whole thing without a
I
woman.
answered your question. I answered your question. There's no way you can put a question out there and not acknowledge the answer.
She
I
pretended
answered
she
the
pretended she
question
don't know
for
what I'm
you.
talking about. She pretended she don't know what
Oh.
I'm talking about. Anyway, it's called a
But
manhole for
no,
a reason.
you not.
Y'all
no,
crawling
what you,
up in them
what you
sewers
want to
to
do
make
is
sure them
dance
sewers
over
work,
it.
them pipes and
You
all
put
that
a
stuff work.
question out there.
Uh-huh.
You put a question out there, and I answered it for you.
You flip on that light.
I
Let's pretend you don't understand what I'm talking about. When you flip on that light switch, right?
Oh.
What comes on?
Now you want me
the
to-
electricity comes
Hey,
on? How'd that
hey,
happen? How'd that work? I wonder how that happened. How this life that we live right now that's so good, how did this come
How you
about?
dismiss me?
Huh?
I
How
love.
did
I
that
love
come
how you
about?
wanted
It
to
came about
dismiss
because
me.
of men. Thank you. So y'all need to be worshiping the ground that us men walk on, because that's the reason why y'all have a life and y'all live it so well. With y'all, we need y'all to have babies. That's what we need women for. The continuation of the human race. Y'all need us for everything else.
Phils, you agree with him?
It ain't no agree or disagree. That's facts. You
I'm
can't
asking
agree or
him his
disagree with
opinion.
facts.
This is all about opinion, right, Phil? Do you
This
agree
ain't an
with that?
opinion. This is a fact, woman. There's a
Phil,
difference.
Phil, he's there.
yo, can you
Men
hear
built
me?
this entire world.
I
that
can hear
y'all
you,
live in.
Phil.
We built
Malcolm,
this-
let Phil answer the question.
All right.
Go ahead, Phil.
So, if women want to know how to be wives, go look at Proverbs 34, 31, 10, and 31. That's what I wanted to say, to go back to what Monica asked me. That's how you be a wife, or at least set yourself up for success to be a wife. Okay? Men have their own work to do. I'm not negating us. We have a lot to do. But guess what? That's y'all blueprint to be a wife. All right. So if you walk around like
What
that.
was it? Proverbs what, Phillips?
Proverbs 31, 10 to 31.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Now, Brother Malcolm isn't completely wrong, right? I mean, because like I said, I'm a biblical dude. God created man. He saw that man was lonely and he said, hey, man needs a helpmate to run this world, right? God gave man dominion over said world, right? So he also was like, hey, you know what? I don't want this dude to be lonely. He needs somebody to help him out, right? So he made woman from man, right? So the biggest thing is, and this actually gets to the point of Frank. Frank asked about female masculinity, right? And what has happened is, and this is what I want to touch bases on, the same way that happened with welfare, white women got black women messed up. Because welfare, just like the feminist movement, was started by white women to have a voice, right? Because the thing is, white women, like once the whole like men went to war and shit like that, they was working in the factories, blase split, right?
Voting rights and all that had something to do with it too in the early 1900s and all that.
Yeah.
In the beginning, it was good.
In the beginning, it was good. Like the idea was the men went off to war to protect everybody here, which we do. Like here's a prime example. We didn't send the women to go fight. They sent us, right, to protect, right? So, but what I say is, like, white women have corrupted our black women to think like they're on the same playing field as them when they are on a different stratosphere in like this whole feminist movement, the whole like welfare system, like all that shit is like a mirage of how they play the damn game, period. So the disconnect is like, and I was like, and the one thing I'm gonna piggyback off of Malcolm, like in the 60s, black people were the like highest married people in the freaking country. Like we was all married.
Because we needed each other.
Like we like, and that's the thing, like that feminism has messed up our black women. Like it has made black women feel like they don't need black men. And I'm not saying all black men, like mind you, ladies, don't kill me. Every black man is not the righteous one. But goddamn it, it's a bunch of righteous ones you done walked over. Period. I ain't even gonna touch on that topic. How many dudes you done friend zoned it that was probably like husband. The guy was like, hey,
because they weren't looking for the husband material. Yeah, they weren't looking for that guy.
I ain't even gonna touch that part, right? Yeah. Because let's give it a book.
I can tell you this. I definitely had to pass up a few good ones, but I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready, Phil.
And that's fine. That's fine. Like,
yeah, I wasn't ready.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
At least you admit it, right?
I wasn't ready.
Most women, like literally, it's a nigga that's 100 fucking phone numbers deep in a black woman's phone book right now. That if she called that nigga right now, she would be happily married, have 2 kids, and probably do her side hustle for her own money for her hair and nails. Yeah. Guaranteed.
They skipping over them kind of dudes. Yeah.
She done friends on that dude from college. It's a dude from college that's probably still got a crush on her right now. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to hear like black women have anyway.
I don't want to say just black. Don't just say black women.
Feminism, just feminism. No.
Feminism, women, period. Feminism, in Western society,
like in Western society, like that whole movement has got y'all to the point where y'all feel you don't need us. So we, in counteraction, feel like, well, if you don't need us, why are we gonna try? Like, so if you don't, so Monica, I mean, just prime example, and I'll let you respond, right?
Bingo, you just said it. Why even try?
Why even try? Because the thing is, like, because here's the thing, right? Because Charlotte said it too, and I'm not picking on you, Charlotte. I'm just retorting something you said, right? I'm a boss bitch. I got a degree. I can do this for myself. I can do that for myself. So if you can do all of the stuff that I can do,
where do I fit?
I'm just talking about myself. Let me just be clear.
No. I'm giving an example, Charlotte. Just hear me out, baby. Hear me out before you kill me. I'm retorting something you said about somebody else. Please don't look. I'm high yellow. I'm short. Don't kill me.
You can beat me up. You can beat me up.
Beat Malcolm up. I don't feel like getting beat up today. I'm just retorting something you said. But if a woman can say to me that she can do all of these things that I can do, and my masculine self,
But I never said that we can do everything that you can do.
Well,
I think that's what you're missing the picture.
Charlotte. I went on mute and I'll let you toast, let you cook.
All right, go ahead.
I'm not saying that you can do everything, but when you lead out on some stuff that's masculine that you can do for yourself, that is what men hear. I'm telling you, I'm giving you some sauce to the game. If you say a bunch of masculine things that men can provide for you on some monetarily stuff, provision. I didn't say you said you could do everything by yourself, but we as men are to protect and provide. That is our mind. That is what we are wired to do. So if you start listing off 4 or 5 things in our mind that is wired to do the majority of what we're supposed to do, we checking out. So most men say, why try?
Can I ask a question?
By all means, go ahead.
What do single women do? Single women do, or what are we supposed to do when we don't have a man? Are we supposed to sit in our position, don't go to school, don't educate ourselves, don't get jobs, don't run our households, don't pay our bills, and just sit and wait for a man to come and take care of that? Or are we doing those things until the day when we don't have to work as hard any longer?
Exactly.
You can do whatever you want.
No, Malcolm, I got this. Exactly, miss. You do what you have to do to survive. But
Right.
if you lead out with that, saying that that's what you can do for yourself to a man that wants to do it for you, and you lead out as the intro to yourself.
Well, where was the man? Who is the man that wanted to do it for me?
He's coming along.
You passed him up already.
Or you passed him up.
Yeah.
You have
I didn't
to
pass him up. I was married for 30 years. I ain't passed nothing up.
Okay.
Charlotte.
So Fields, let me.
You was
go ahead,
married for
Fields.
30
I'm
years?
sorry. Go ahead.
No.
Go ahead, Fields.
Charlotte, your situation and your circumstances unique to you and you only. And what happened to you, by all means, sister, like you did your thing, right? But I'm telling you what a man hears. I'm a man telling you how a man hears what is reciprocated to him and then his reaction. I'm telling you how it's deciphered from my ears. It doesn't matter about like, where was this guy? If a woman comes out and says, I can do this for myself, that for myself, that for myself, a man automatically is going to say, well, what does she need me for? It doesn't say like, hey, you didn't have to do it. By all means, sister, like the world is the world. Like if you living in DC, New York, blase split, and you a single woman, you're going to have to work. You're going to have to hustle. You're going to have to do what you got to do. We understand that.
But that's a masculine
But when we
trait
come along,
to say your accomplishment, to be judged by your accomplishment.
How
it's presented, like, hey, I don't need a man to do that for me. But shit, I want to come along and do that for you.
But men are judged by your accomplishments.
What am I trying for?
We're judged by our accomplishments. Women are judged by their beauty.
But Malcolm, like that's a whole different look. We can
how many ugly good women you passed up that was gonna be subservient to you, Malcolm, and live in your world and do your rules, but she wasn't pretty enough.
Not many. I mean,
yeah, many.
I'm gonna let you think about that. Let me hold that response.
The hot scale for
I want to
men
read
is
the
like
comments.
A wave. So you.
Let me read the comments because we are winding down on time, I think. RTO, do you know how much time we got left, or?
Well, we stop at 9. We got 12 minutes.
At 9 o'clock, right? All right. Let me read the comments and then we can pick back up. So Danine, hey Danine, she said, "Oh my OMFG." Frank said, "Nah, Malcolm, that's not right, bro." Frank then turned around and said, "Let Fields talk." God damn. I put in Proverbs 3:10-13, right, Fields? I believe that was it. Frank said, "Man listens to God gospel. Women are fascinated by the devil's whisper. Also, women cause men to go to war." Okay. Malcolm said, "Desegregation did it." Frank said, "Like I said, Fields, women control who they fuck, men control who they marry." Frank said, "A man can walk right up to a woman and that woman will pass them up according to their criteria. It happens all the time, like there's an unlimited supply of men and how there's sexual marketplace." Kyra said, "Unfortunately, it's not that many men that are willing to take the reins."
Yes, there is.
So,
I disagree with that. Those men are just invisible to you. They're invisible.
Okay.
And most men are invisible to women. Most women go about their day and they don't even notice. What is it? The 80-20 rule? I think it's more than that. I think it's like 90% of dudes are invisible to women.
So I'm say this. If you're not right with yourself, you shouldn't be looking to attract that type of attention because you're still healing from some shit. So I want you to be invincible to me. That's not taking anything away from the man that's coming to the table, presenting himself as a candidate
No,
for
it's a skill. A man has to develop a
relationship.
skill to become for a
when
woman to notice them. A man has to
Right, but
develop some kind of skill because y'all
yeah,
go through life
but
and y'all
but
totally
clearly a
ignore
woman does for
90%
you
of
as
us.
well. Clearly a woman does for you as well.
What's
And
that?
I'm not talking about clearly a woman has to not be invincible to present herself
Invisible, I
with a
said.
quality. I'm sorry?
Invisible. I said 90% of men are invisible to women. We are
And
invisible.
I said clearly a woman has to visibly, however you want to spin it, she has to present herself in a way that you see her as well.
90% of women aren't invisible to me. Trust me on that one. 90,
well,
I see everywhere I go.
When you're looking at a physical attribute, I get it, but physical attraction is the first attraction. We know that. However, there's more to that story than just a physical attraction.
For you, not for us. Not for us.
Okay. So what I was saying is, when it becomes mental, you can present yourself as being visible because you're closed off to what a person has to offer. You said a woman has to come to the table and present something to you that's worth you even entertaining when it comes to a relationship, correct?
Right. But
if you don't see, hold on, if you don't see her through your third eye, all you do is see her through your physical attribute. That's it. So you are invincible until knowledge is born. You are invincible. If you're not born in the science and you're not ready to understand that knowledge and wisdom is going to bring forth understanding, there's no way it's going to work. It's not. And yes, Frank, I do agree with you. It works both ways, sweetheart. I do agree with you. You have to understand you should be invincible to a person until they present character. Visible. I'm sorry, visible. They should. Y'all know what I'm saying.
Confusing the shit out of me, girl.
No, I'm not. You know what I'm saying. You should literally be in a space mentally to want to engage with someone if you're looking to entertain them on a certain level. That's all I'm saying. I want to read real quick Proverbs 3 because I actually read the whole the scripture, Proverbs 31. And I thought it was actually pretty dope. But starting at verse 10, and I'm reading from the King James Version. It said, "Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. The heart of her husband doth safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil." Verse 12, "She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life." Verse 13, "She seeketh wool and flax and worketh willingly with her hands." But out of those verses, number 11 says, "The heart of her husband doth safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil." If he's not mentally prepared to offer and sacrifice, leaving the outside world alone to focus on his wife, he's going to spoil the relationship.
Amen.
We
He's
all
going
know
to
that.
spoil it.
Yeah, we all know that though.
But
that's been told to us hundreds and thousands of times that men, you know what I mean?
Right, but all I hear is
no
what
told
women
that
aren't capable of. Hold on.
Nobody's
all
ever
I
told
hear
women
is
that.
Hold on. All I hear is what women aren't capable of. But yet, if we're going to go to the good book, we have to turn and say, there's faults on both sides of the fence with men and women. There's faults.
Yeah.
But it can't just be women.
Sister
women.
Monica, Sister Monica, I'm gonna hold you a buck. Did not say I am talking for all men and I know we have things to do, but for a woman, this is what she did not say that. I did not absolve in of any, like, look, that's the thing that, okay.
I didn't step over that, Fields, though. I didn't step over that.
But the thing is, like, this is what we always come back to. It's always about, well, this side ain't doing this, and this side ain't doing this, and this side's not doing this.
It's always gonna point back to men.
It's the thing is.
No, we was just talking about something, so I was just circling back to the Bible.
No, but what I'm saying, but the thing is, like, the thing that you focused on is what the man does it do or needs to do. Like, Monica, black men and black women, we all messed up, period, in some way, shape, or form, period. We all got faults. Everybody falls short of the grace of God, et cetera, et cetera. We all dirty rags. Until you find a man who can honestly say, like, because here's the thing, both people on both sides. Oh, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm perfectly fine. It's her. No, it's everybody. Like, that's the point I'm getting at. I'm not a finger pointer. I'm a thumb pointer. I'm a thumb pointer.
Okay, so let me just bring this fact up, because outside of the first 2 shows that I joined in August, I've been the only woman on this panel until today. And all I've been hearing, hold on, because you're thinking that I'm circling back to something to point a finger, and that's not what I'm doing. I'm highlighting topics that we have discussed since August, with me being the only female on this panel. So now that there's another female on this panel, let's not take away the fact that this is all I've been hearing for months. So trust me when I tell you, this isn't a point the finger moment. We're highlighting what we've been talking about for months. So give me that, because I've been taking everything that y'all been throwing for months.
No, it's definitely.
And I'm cool with that.
Monica, what did I say? Monica, you remember what I said?
With us having conversation.
Monica, do you remember what I said to you the first night I listened to this podcast? Do you remember what I said to you?
No, I don't. But Charlotte, before you go on, is RTO, because it's 8:57. I don't know if we have to wrap it up now, y'all. Do we have to start wrapping up?
Wait a minute, is wide body over here? Why is it so wide body up here?
Nah, it's the RTO, man.
Oh, okay.
Wide body's in the middle of the Caribbean right now.
Right.
Oh, snap. Hopefully he ain't in the Bermuda Triangle getting lost.
Oh no.
Yeah, we do need to wrap it up, but I think Charlotte wanted to ask something. We can handle that.
We got a couple minutes. Go ahead, Charlotte.
My comment to Monica was that she needed some help, because I felt like y'all sat up there, y'all was just bashing women the whole time. The whole time, and she was doing her best to be representative, not just of women, but just having full understanding, listening to both sides. But on the same time, all y'all sat there to do was bash women all day.
That's good, because we've been hearing men bashing for 30 years now. So it's good.
So it's payback. That's what it's about.
We've been hearing for 30 years. Yeah. But I know one thing's for certain. It's definitely time to heal. But guys, I know we got to wrap up the show. See Me Hustle, I want you to take us out, but I do want to read the last couple of comments. Kyra said, y'all know what she's saying. She turned around and said, the good book written by man, but that's a whole different conversation. We can definitely circle back on that. And Frank ended by saying, men were doomed since Eve disobeyed God when the Most High told both to not eat from the Garden of Eden. It all started from the beginning. No shade on the women of present day.
No, Frank.
All right, let's not turn this into a religious. I know it's Sunday.
Nah, it's Adam's fault. Let's go ahead though. I'm not about to let. Hey, look, it's Adam's fault. Adam was like, okay, baby, I'm gonna eat this apple. I'm gonna be a doofus. Like, get the fuck out of here, nigga.
All right. I had a DJ Widebody get a picture of me up there, man. How was that, man? What's going on?
Yeah, it's crazy.
You got you in the DR though?
Nah, that was 2004. Them big ass sweatpants, man. Come on, man.
Oh shit, is that Rockaware? Is that a Rockaware joint?
I think it's like Anichi.
Is that a velour Rockaware?
That nigga fresh
What y'all
from
looking at?
Diddy video.
He looking at wide bodies away picture, dog. That's what he got a
All right,
balloon
y'all. It's
Rockaway
9
joint.
o'clock. It's 9 o'clock. It's 9 o'clock.
All right, with that said, everybody, we're gonna go ahead and call it a wrap. We're gonna wrap
All
the
right.
show up, man. Shout out to everybody in chat. Shout out to all the participants today. Ortiz, got Monica, got Charlotte, guests in the house, you know what I mean? Of course, they come out firing at me. It's mandatory for any woman that comes on the first time, they gotta come out firing at me. So
You like it.
yeah, of course. Of course. Shout out to RTO holding it down for DJ Wildbody. Shout out to Ricks. And shout out to everybody in the chat. Frank Gates Jr. We got Kyra as usual. We got some of the usual suspects in here. DJ Widebody, CX the producer.
Oh, what up, CX?
Anybody else I missed, I apologize. Yeah, with that, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up until next week. Any parting shots, anybody?
Go Lions.
I hope everybody have an enjoyable week. If any
how about them
birthdays,
Cowboys?
how about them? Ain't that some shit, Phil?
How about the
Anybody that's having
Cowboys?
a birthday, happy birthday, happy born day, and hopefully you'll be back next week.
All right, everybody. No music. We apologize for that. DJ Widebody be back next week with the music. You know what I mean? Outro. Right now, we just gonna go out in silence and shit. What they do? 1, 2, 3, peace or whatever. Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever y'all want.
1, 2, 3, peace.
Peace.
Y'all a bunch of nuts.
Man, look.
Hold on. All right.
Still live, I think.
Yeah, I ain't closing. We good. All right.